evening and welcome to episode 9 of It's All Geek to Me, the pulp culture chat show where three friends of varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. Now, joining me this week are my brothers in geek. First up, we have Mr. Chris Lum. Hey,
hello.
How you doing, love? You all right?
I'm all right. I was just reading all the stuff at the side of the screen. I saw you doing your hair in your phone.
Oh, you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I nearly brought you into the show early, but I thought I won't do that. I'll just tell everybody about it.
It's all right. I already introduced us as a pulp culture chat show, so it's all right. It's a great start. It's a great start. Right. How's your week been, man?
Oh, you know, same old, innit? You know, you do and you keep doing, and then you do some more.
I mean, would it be ironic if we did a retrospective review of Groundhog Day one of these weeks? I just think it's something that everyone can relate to.
It's a great film. We should have done it this week. I don't know why we didn't think of it.
Probably should have done. We'll talk about our change of film in a moment. But first of all, we should introduce our other brother. It is Mr. Nathan Webb.
Here he is.
What's up, homeboys?
Oh, hello, Webby.
Oh. Hey, oh.
You've got a little musketeer beard.
Yeah, man. I just couldn't be bothered shaving it off. Just getting a bit longer. I don't know if it looks all right. I don't know. I've lost all.
It's fine, Webby. It's fine. How's your week been, love?
My week? Well,
yeah.
Actually, funnily enough, I've been feeling pretty sexy this week. I don't know why.
Sorry,
it's the beard. It's the beard. I don't know why I choked.
I'd say like 60% sexier than I usually feel, which is quite nice. It's been quite nice. Nobody's noticed. I'm in lockdown, feeling all sexy.
We noticed.
Is there a reason, or are you just feeling it? Something happened where you've got
in the air? Just something in the air.
Love.
I think
love
it's carbon monoxide leak from this bloody boiler. So if I'm not here next week, you know why. Just remember to tell everybody before he died, he felt quite sexy. How ironic.
We can immortalize it on YouTube. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm only kidding. I don't feel that sexy. You know.
You look sexy, dude. You look sexy. Don't you worry about it.
I've had a bit of lighting advice from Lummy. He said I can't see.
Oh, look at that.
Sexy
no, that's good. Look at that. That's nice.
Is that why you feel sexy? Because we can see your face now. Is that you were like where they have guests on who like have to hide their appearance. It was like that a minute ago. You were like the blank face out. Then I committed the robbery.
Yeah, like a secret witness. Yeah.
I don't know what strength bulb you've got in your socket, mate, but it's well bright. The wattage is too high.
Mine or Lummy's?
Lummy's? Crazy. You've got a ring light.
I know
all about your ring light.
His lamp looks more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Well, it's a bit of a fascinating light chat.
Well, no, but Lummy's videos have gone, because now he's inside. They've kind of gone from being hostage videos in the garage to actually being, having a nice little bit of a backdrop and a bit of lighting, a bit of mood lighting. Looking good, Lummy.
I preferred him in the garage, to be fair. I'm
going to go back to the garage. I've made a mistake.
With the fumes getting to you.
Yeah. I was feeling too sexy in the garage. That's what it was.
This is I'm starting to see the problem now. Bloody hell!
Wow, it's like hostage porn. Right? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have got all the usual features for you this week. We've got our best or worst. We're gonna have a little look at WandaVision, and we've got our retrospective look back a cult classic film. Now, we were gonna do E.T., and do you know what? I offer my apologies because this week I just couldn't face watching E.T. It was a bit of a blue week and it was triggering the hell out of me. And we thought, do you know what? Let's be kind to ourselves. So we chose to have a look at John Candy in Uncle Buck. And wow, that was a cool film. But we're going to be talking about that around about 9 o'clock. But first up, we've got the news. What's been going on in the news this week, Webby?
In the news this week, we learned that Kittens is a little baby who can't believe it. I'm kidding. I said I wasn't going to do that, and I did it. I'm sorry.
I didn't expect anything less, I promise you.
In the news this week, there's a little bit of news in the news. Some news. We got news about.
Is it good news or bad news, Webby? Good news or bad news?
That depends on your perspective. I'm not about to tell people how to think, But news-wise, we've got the first thing that was up. Oh man, I'm on the wrong page. Hang on a second. Let me just flick.
It's the Justice League Snyder Cut.
That's it. Why are you asking if you already bloody know?
Well, just because people get sick of my voice, don't they?
Yeah. So I mean, okay, Justice League. I don't know what you fellas thought about it. If you've seen it, even I saw it, and I was very much underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of hope for it, really, to be honest, because they haven't got the best track record of DC. They've got all this amazing property, but they don't seem to know how to make it interesting or something, Do you know, I've
not even watched it. I've not even seen Justice League. I didn't bother. I just thought.
I mean, I could have lived my entire life not bothering as well, man. I can't remember anything redeeming about the film itself. But for some reason, I'm a little bit more optimistic about the Snyder Cut because he was the guy that was originally assigned to direct it, had to leave due to personal reasons. Somebody took over. And so finally he's got all this footage back together, and I think he's refilmed some bits and put it all together in a different way. It's a different thing, but apparently it's going to be R-rated. And the other thing that's putting me off slightly about it is it's got my worst Joker in it, man. I mean, apparently Jared Leto is in it. So, I mean, what could you say? Hopefully it'll be really good. And
why is it going to be R-rated?
Because Batman
gets his bat dick out.
Batman, does a bat swear.
Yeah,
you can't stop
bat swear.
Yeah, he does. Bat swear. He keeps calling everybody bat cunts. I don't know, but I don't know what his problem is in this movie. Apparently, he's just like that. Alfred, don't be such a bat cunt. Get yeah, so we'll see.
I think it's,
to be honest with you, as much as I'd love to believe it's going to be R-rated because it just adds something to the story, or it's for adults or something, I think it's more likely that it wants a bit of that Deadpool cash, that R-rated superhero movie cash. So we'll see, man. I mean, it's only a month or so.
This show's R-rated now after you just dropped that C-bomb. So
sorry, guys.
I mean, this is a bit of a record. We've had a double C-bomb within 8 minutes of the show. It's started.
Because I'll just carry on all the way through, and I'm not. I don't even like that word. I'm against that word.
Well, why did you say it twice?
I'm not really.
You bat fuck.
Hey, now that's another word. Yeah, keep saying that as well. I think that's why. I think we're going to see a sweary Batman. I don't know why he's so pissed off. We'll have to watch to find out.
Do you not know his parents were murdered?
Yeah.
They've never told that origin story ever in a Batman film. I mean,
I know they shy away from it, don't they? To be fair.
Yeah. They should do it an origin story just like the comic. It'd be great.
Yeah, it would. So yeah, watch. I don't. What's it? It's streaming on HBO Max, so I don't know where we can get that in the UK yet. So watch it, see if you like it. I'm going to see if I like it. I'm going to give it a go.
Did any of you actually like the like the Justice League? Any of our viewers, leave us a comment. Let us know. Let us know what you think about Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker. Do we think that it's going to look any better in the in the next one?
Nope. Not really. No. I mean,
they are changing him up a little bit. He's got a new outfit and stuff like that. But
yeah.
So,
do you think after all the criticism from the last film that he's kind of like, okay, I need to try harder?
I think part of the problem is once you cast as the Joker is now you've got 2 Oscar-winning Jokers to go against. So you better bring it, man. You better bring it, or people are just going to be like, you're not as good as Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
They both won Oscars for it. Yeah. I mean, this is the problem with it. It's such a good character, and there's so much that the Joker's got to say. How do you even balls it up? How do you even do that? So they should be asking themselves some pretty deep questions. The producers of the Jared Leto, it's Suicide Squad, isn't he, that he was in?
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you say?
And what about the computer game news? Because we were looking forward to a remastered GoldenEye on the Xbox. When's it coming out?
Oh, there he is.
Hey, it's Brosnan.
Oh, wow. Sounds like it's...
I've got some news for you, you sons of bitches.
What's your news, Pierce?
What's the news? When can we...
Let him
Pierce,
finish.
come back. Pierce, when can we play you on the Xbox?
You can't play it anymore because the game got cancelled after they finished doing it, you sons of bitches.
Whoa, why? Why we always got issues with James Bond games?
Explain yourself, Pierce Brosnan, if that is really you.
Come on, Pierce, tell us why.
I will if you'd shut your mouths. Basically, the game was finished, but due to copyright licensing, they had to take it away. Maybe you shouldn't have come here at all.
Oh, God. Okay, well, thank you, Pierce, and thank you for joining us from the toilet there.
After you told me about the Taffin thing, I downloaded the film. I had to get hold of it.
Was it good?
I managed to find it. It's really funny. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I was listening to an old radio show with Adam Buxton and Joe Cornish, and this whole thing about a film that Pierce Brosnan did when he still lived in Ireland, and he was an Irish actor. This film called Taffin that has some famously bad acting in, and I showed these guys the quote the other day. You got to see it to be believed. Google Taffin, stick it into YouTube. We can't probably show it. We'll get arrested or done or something. But
there's some remixes. There's some remixes on YouTube that people have done. It's really good. But his delivery is amazing. What's the line he actually says? He says,
he says, what goes on in this town is none of your business. And she says, what does she say?
Maybe I shouldn't be living here or something. Or does he say we should have prepared this?
She says, as long as I'm living here, it is my business. And he goes, well, maybe you shouldn't be living here.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be living here.
It's really weird.
Guys. You don't even have to watch the clip. That's it. He's just nailed it, man. Nailed it, brother.
Well done, Lummy. Round of applause for Lummy. Well done, dude.
Well,
Sterling. Your Pierce Brosnan on the toilet impression is wonderful.
Yeah, it's marvelous. Anyway,
don't get very often
on the show. It's always nice to, get a celebrity guest on.
Oh, it's nice, right? Yeah, we should come back again sometime, Pierce. But so we're not getting the GoldenEye game. We're not getting it remastered on Xbox because of licensing issues. It's
not coming out. I've told you it's not coming out.
All right, I'm sorry, Pierce. God.
I
don't think we need him to come back next week. I think I'm done. I'm glad it got cancelled.
I don't want to get anybody too excited, but I might have got us a celebrity guest for next week. I know a man who knows Brian Blessed.
No.
Let's not get too excited. Brian Blessed. Brian Blessed, should I say.
Nice. I look forward to that. What other news we got? Because there was some news about the long-awaited Winds of Winter book.
Winds of Winter, the latest installment, allegedly, in the Game of Thrones book franchise. There he is, Santa.
Ah, hey, Germ.
Allegedly, I mean, don't get too excited, guys. George R.R. Martin does have a habit of making these announcements. And he went to New Zealand a couple of years ago while he was being interviewed. He said, what about the next book? He said, if it's not done by summer 2020, you can rake me over the coals, throw me into a pit of sulfuric acid, I think he said, or something stupid like that. But he's still not finished it.
But he didn't know a pandemic were coming, did he? But,
No, he didn't. But he's utilised the pandemic allegedly to write hundreds and hundreds of pages for Winds of Winter. But guess what? Still,
they're all in the bin.
So stick it up your bums. That's what he says in his blog.
Do you reckon is he writing other stuff? Is he just not bothered? Is he like, I'm going to write a kid's book?
He just works his own pace. He did say he often get into I'm not on a roll all the time with stuff, but I was on a roll when I was writing this last year. I got myself there, but still loads more to go. So it's not news exactly, is it? It's the same shit we already knew. It's still coming at some point. Personally speaking, I'm kind of losing interest at this point, man. I've been waiting to read this book for about 6 years or something daft. So I'm not holding my breath.
You even learned to read it, didn't you?
I did. I learned to read. I was just reading that comment there. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see about the Winds of Winter. I'm sure it's coming at some point. But what I do like about George R.R. Martin is he won't be pushed around by his fans. His fans are constantly online every time they met. You fat bastard, how dare you fucking tell me you're releasing this book and it's not here. Me. And he's like, fuck you, I write at my own pace. You're not the boss of me. I don't care. I'm rich already. What are you going to do? You know? Yeah. So I just think that's right.
He should release it, like, on his deathbed, he should release it, and it should be half a book, and like, I'm finished, and it's all just blank pages.
Torn out.
Or it's like National Lampoon's Vacation or some other script. It's halfway through.
It's all a dream.
Yeah. Then they went to space, the end. They'd be like, what?
So the choose your own adventure books. It'd be finish your own adventure books.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that's more news. It ain't really news, but you know, we can't make people write stuff faster, can we?
No, but there is some potential good news on the horizon, because there's some news about Thor 4, isn't there?
Thor
4.
Was it Love and Thunder? Yeah, Love and Thunder. Yeah, we got set photos, man. Hot off the set, we had getting sneak into the set with his mask on. Don't start being dicks. He had his mask on. He was sneaking
always
around.
Masked up.
Yeah, snapped a couple of look at that, straight from his iPhone.
Look at that.
Schnickety schnick.
Yeah. So if we see, I believe that's Thor. Is that Thor? That?
Yeah. Well, when I was doing my Peter Parker moment, yes, that is indeed Thor. I can reveal exclusively that man on the left there, that's Thor.
Yeah, man. Looks like he's standing next to Star-Lord. And he's got a slightly different look in this, isn't it? It's a bit 80s, this one, apparently. 80s inspired. If you've seen you've just seen the title, we showed you it. It's the artwork is deliberately, it's a bit...
It's very He-Man, isn't it?
It's He-Man, it's Thundercats.
It's like the last one. It's like the last one, isn't it? That were all... Yeah. But someone said,
so long ago.
What's Thor wearing there? What's he got on? Is
well,
that
it looks like
web, you know?
Jeans and a t-shirt and
it looks like a Michael Jackson jacket to me.
It's Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah, that's his own clothes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think one of the good things about this is it's if you remember where we left Thor, he was working with the Guardians of the Galaxy, so there's going to be loads of japes, loads of messing around and all that, you know, alpha male
bullshit. Didn't he have an eye out? Didn't he have an eye out?
Yeah.
He's got an eye back. How did he get his eye back?
Did he get it back?
I don't know.
I thought, did Rocket Raccoon give him a new eye?
Did he give him a electric eye?
Do you know, I haven't seen it for ages. I don't know.
It's fiction at this point. I'm just making shit up.
We should watch this shit before we dare talk about it.
You know,
yeah, we should have watched all the Marvel films before talking about Thor 4.
Can we not just pause this now and we'll go watch it and come back?
No, because the interactivity of the show, you tell us. Has Thor got an eye or not? Oh, well, he's got an eye. Does he have two eyes?
Do our job for us. Out there.
It's a community, remember. It's a community. It works both ways, folks.
We need
answers. Take a page out of George R.R. Martin's book and you do it for us.
Now, we've promised that we're not going to do any spoilers for WandaVision, but it would be wrong for us not to touch upon what great series this has become. You thought I was going to say something smutty then, didn't you, Nay? Or
I was about to say it's wrong to touch and you shouldn't be doing that.
No, it's consensual. It's consensual. It's totally fine.
Touch it. Can I not touch it? I'm touching it right now.
Touch that.
Well, it's a good job. Good job. There's a picture of your screen at the minute.
Yeah, you can do what you want now.
Finished.
It's just unfortunate these images go over your thing, isn't it? But
no, you say unfortunate.
my nose and stuff. Yeah, dudes. I mean, come on. I mean, Jesus, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but it was great. Yeah, it was.
Slightly longer episode last night as well. So 39 minutes. Well, 32 minutes because you got 7 minutes of titles at the credits. But I was really surprised when I tuned in last night, and I was like, oh god, yeah, it's like 15 minutes longer than normal.
Yeah, it's, I can't wait till it's all over and we can actually delve into it a bit and talk about some of it because there's some big stuff. If you're an X-Men fan, there are some X-Men books that are famously unmakeable. They've always been, we're not going to go near that. I'm not going to say which books have taken from because I think that's a bit unfair, but they are really heavily relying on some of the coolest stuff that's happened in some of the X-Men Scarlet Witch arcs. They are, man, it's really well put together. Slow burner. If you haven't seen it yet, and you're thinking, why should I bother? Give it 2 or 3 episodes before you get to the meat inside the pasty.
I've got a little bit of news.
Oh!
Yeah, I've got bad news. Yeah, I'm quitting up because of this news.
Shit.
Oh man! So go on, Lummy. When's it been?
November.
Is this official?
We've got to wait till November for Peter Rabbit 2. Still, I thought they'd have brought it forward.
Makes no sense. Don't rabbits hibernate? They're asleep in November.
I know you both. You're trying to hide it by being jovial, but we're all gutted. Do
I look like I'm joking? I'm deadly serious. I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna go out and make me own Peter Rabbit.
We need a hashtag going saying Free Peter Rabbit. Free Peter Rabbit too.
Actually, sorry, you're tired of the delays. I thought you meant you were tired of the joke. I mean, it's like 3 weeks in a row now.
Oh, never bring it on.
Still going strong.
I'll never get sick of this joke. Now, are we saying hashtag Free Peter Rabbit or hashtag Peter Rabbit 3? Because I'm confused.
No. You'll get confused and they'll think there's a third film coming out before the second one's out. Is the third
coming out before the second one?
At this rate, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, that actually, I'll tell you what. Do you know when they did all them Disney rip-off films where they were bringing out like number 2 and it was straight to video? If they did that now, you'd end up getting a sequel before the actual decent sequel came out. You'd end up with like Cinderella 3 before number 2 came out in cinema. You know what I mean?
Absolute nonsense. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. I mean,
apparently Cinderella 3 is pretty good. Apparently, I heard. I've not seen it.
I've heard that a couple of these sequels are actually passable. They did a second Aladdin, didn't they? And then Robin Williams didn't come back, but then he came back for like the 3rd or 4th one. They just offered him another Picasso or something.
I was working at cinema when we had Jungle Book 2 and it was a shower of shit, and I can't believe they showed it in the cinema. It was a disgrace.
Always confused me that the second 101 Dalmatians is called 102 Dalmatians. So, I mean, I would have preferred 101 Dalmatians 2, I think. That makes more sense. Unless it literally is to just get an extra Dalmatian in this entire film. All 101 Dalmatians from the first film live, survive, and everything's fine, and they just get one more.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same impact as the first one, is it?
I don't know.
One dog.
I'm not sure. I've never been. They did that remake, didn't they, with Glenn Close, and then they made another one of that.
And they've done another one, haven't they? It's a Cruella de Vil film, I think, with Anne Hathaway.
Cruella de Vil origin story, and we need more origin stories of these characters that you don't give a shit about, really. I mean,
I tell you the origin story that we really need.
Oh yes.
I don't know who made this, but you are a genius. That's absolutely amazing. For any of our viewers watching in America, Candy and Steve, I know that you sometimes tune in when you can. This is a TV show called Chuckle Vision, and these are the Chuckle Brothers. So that's a nice little crossover. That is the crossover that nobody ever wanted, but I think
now we need.
all do. Yeah, it's what we all need.
It now. Yeah. I mean,
sadly, though, one of them ain't with us.
Yeah, but we know that Scarlet Witch can. She could sort it out, right? Maybe
fix it. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that in the future because we don't want to spoil out. But yeah, okay.
Maybe. So, well, this week we have our regular segment, the best or worst segment, and I charge Nathan and Lummy to pick their best and worst movie franchises.
No Star Wars allowed.
Well, no, we are allowed Star Wars, but we do talk about Star Wars a lot on the show, and we thought we'd have a bit of a Star Wars free week. So, nice one for mentioning it there, Webby. Lummy, what's your best and worst film franchise?
Right, best one without a doubt, because we can't have Star Wars. That would have been me. Indiana Jones.
I love Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt's a
even though we all know the fourth one wasn't great, you know, still got the other ones. Even Temple of Doom.
Is it all right to just not count the ones we don't like?
Yeah. You can. Yeah, I mean, there's three good ones there. Even Temple of Doom that gets a bit of a bad time. I think there's a lot of stuff in there that's good. So
Temple of Doom's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah. But I also think, you know, the third one with Sean Connery, brilliant, and it kind of revives it a little bit, and then the Med Crystal Skull, which but you know,
Crystal fart.
There are some good things about the Crystal Skull, but the bad does far outweigh the good, unfortunately.
There was a script for Crystal Skull that came out, and it was written by Frank Darabont, who directed Green Mile and all that. Brilliant script.
He was the guy that was responsible for bringing The Walking Dead to TV, I seem to remember.
Yeah. Right, so highly respected guy. He wrote a brilliant script. I've read the script, downloaded it, and it's brilliant.
Did he send it to you?
Yeah, sent me it. And he went, have a look at this. And I went, all right.
Nice.
And loads of people have read it. It was quite available on internet. But anyway, the point is, it was really good, the script. And apparently they just went, we'll write a different one. And they threw it out. And the actual script, it had certain stuff in, like in the Crystal Skull. But for some reason, they're worse by, like, for example, there's a bit at the start where his mate gets kidnapped, not both. And he sneaks into the base and disguises himself like in the old days. Knocks the guard out and puts the hat on and goes, you know, classic Indiana Jones kind of
outfit's a bit too small. Yeah.
All that business, And didn't do it. But then there's other scripts as well, though, for sequels that are really weird as well. The one called The Monkey King, and it was a bit odd. But we should do a reading of some of these
The Monkey King would be better than the Crystal Skull. I don't even know what it's about. I'm just like, I think it would be better. Fine, Monkey Kings sounds awesome.
We got our friend Natalie Smeaton chipping in.
I tell you what, there's even one that he was Nat. Have you ever seen the Mist? The one that he did. It's a proper schlocky B movie horror movie type thing where a bunch of people get trapped in a mall as the evil mist rolls into town. But it's got one of the best endings ever. It's a great film. But that's Frank Darabont as well. But
I missed that
Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption, Walking Dead, all sorts of stuff.
Good.
Yeah, I just appreciate that comment because I didn't realise it was spelt with a T. So cheers, Nat. Hope you well.
Do you guys know about the fan film that the kids made of Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I do, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, you can watch it, but you've got to delve in to get it from places.
Right.
But it's pretty interesting now. You know,
in the back garden, and they like remade it scene for scene. Yeah, I've seen a bit of that.
And there was one scene they didn't make, and then they went back years later and crowdfunded it to remake. You know, the flying wing bit with the German Pat Roach. Pat Roach that he played all the bad guys.
I know Pat Roach.
They went back and filmed it. Yeah. In fact, I've got an Indiana Jones storybook if you want.
I was waiting for this.
Hey.
Get it out, Lummy.
Yeah, give us a read. Let's watch you read a book for half an hour. Like
right. This is The Last Crusade. There's a deleted scene. I know you like these little factoids.
We do. We love them.
Right. In the Zeppelin, Pat Roach, right? His scene got cut. There he is. Can you see that? Yeah. There he is in the Zeppelin. And he got
the bald Nazi that he knacks with the plane.
Yeah. He gets punched by Indy, and then they chase him in biplane under Zeppelin. See, a little fact there for you, little factoid for you.
When you say, is it the same character then, or do you think
no?
It's a different...
Oh, well, right. he got obliterated by the propeller in Raids. Yeah, so he can't be.
Yeah, but the timeline in the Indiana Jones films is all messed up, and the third one happens before
No. Third one's after.
Last Crusade is after The other two,
Well,
Temple of Doom.
he knows he's winding us up. He knows
Raiders
it.
of the Lost Ark, and then Last
He knows
Crusade.
it.
Yeah.
He knows it. I'm just looking in.
I'm glad they cut him because I would have been like, that's the same guy.
Yeah, your mind wouldn't have coped.
No, it won't.
There's no deleted stuff in the. There's no deleted stuff in the story, but for a Temple of Doom, they've took it all out.
That's a shame.
I know.
So
just kept it in there.
What was your worst movie franchise, Lummy?
Same movie, no, it won't. It was Transformers.
I haven't seen any of the Transformer films, but I heard that the first one was all right.
The first one is all right.
Well, the first one, you kind of watch it and you think, all right, but I mean, it falls apart for me where they go. These robots are turning into cars and they're from outer space, and you think, why are they turning into cars?
Have you not seen?
Wait! You know there was a cartoon, right, that we watched when we were kids?
Yeah, that was fine because we were kids, you know.
Right, I'll tell you. I mean, I'm not sticking up for Transformers here, but they do actually explain it, right? Because the alien, the power of the alien, right, is that it can manipulate itself into any machinery. So when it comes to Earth, they scan a bunch of cars. That's why they turn into cars. Right. They shine like a laser light, and then all of a sudden, they're cars. Dumbass.
All right. I still did. Do you know some of these films though? They're so CGI when you look at them and you think, I can't be asked. That's what I felt like with it. That's the honest answer.
Honestly,
you watch them
like
go,
the first one.
You go, get out of my head.
Like the first one was way better than it should have been, but it wasn't great. And then it's quickly downhill from there, in my opinion.
I mean, you've got these tiny humans running around as well with all these giant robots. They just crush them under the foot. One they go, what's that? You know, anything like that where you've got a giant machine and you've got a little. You think the odds of them surviving is pretty slim, in it really. Having said that, I did see the Bumblebee movie and I actually didn't mind that one.
That's amazing.
That's apparently a really good film. Is that the one with John?
And that really didn't have to be, did it? After they've done all these other ones and they've gone massive, it was kind of a smaller scale film in a way, and it was actually all right.
Like an indie film, it was.
Yeah. And I actually thought this doesn't have to be this good. They'll already have the Transformers fans money, you know. But it was all right. So yeah, go Bumblebee.
I mean, the thing about any of the Transformers films for me is the fact that it's got the same guy doing Optimus Prime's voice. I think that's really cool that he's still around.
Is it really?
Yeah. Peter Cullen, is it? I think he's called Peter Cullen. I might be wrong.
Rings a bell.
I'm old.
Peter Parker.
It's not Peter.
Yeah, it's not Peter Parker. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not Peter Duncan out of Blue Peter.
No, it's not.
Did you guys ever have the Transformers? Actually, did you have any of the toys?
Yeah. Big fan.
I know we talked before about the one in what's it called, Soundwave with the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I stole it. Yeah, I stole it from a kid. He was weird though. He deserved it, and his mum was weird.
I know a guy who's got a massive Transformer collection. I should try and get him on the show to show it off. He's got a garage. He does photography. A guy called Nick, and he's got a massive garage full of Transformers. He's got all of them, every single one you can imagine. Very
cool. Don't tell us where he lives, because Gittins will be straight around there robbing his ass.
Oh, very careful. I didn't say his full name then. Oh, what area?
Look, Nick, as long as your mum isn't weird, then your collection's safe. Don't worry about it. I only stole it because the kid's mum was weird.
Why did the kid pay the price for his mum though? That doesn't make sense. Why didn't you nick some of hers, like a perfume or a pants?
She didn't have any Transformers. Dude, that's weird. She didn't have any Transformers.
Your mum's awful, but I never steal off you.
Yeah. Whoa. Are you talking to me or Lummy?
Yeah, I'm not telling you because that's not true. It's not actually true. Sandra and Margaret, I love you both. You both share a special place.
I'm going to steal your mum's house, Webb.
You can steal my mum's house? What can I steal off you? I'm going to steal your soul.
I'm going to steal your Ghostbusters.
Actually, be more bothered about his Ghostbusters. Leave my soul.
Take my soul. Take my soul.
You can take my soul, but you'll never take my
I forgot to tell you guys. Hang on one second.
Oh, Nathan got it was your
I had my
anniversary this
That's
week.
why I'm feeling so sexy. I've just put 2 and 2 together.
Oh,
But
now
no, I
we
think
know,
that really
now we
made me
know.
feel sexy. Was the best anniversary present I've ever received in my entire life. Probably, maybe. Got myself
that is nice.
Hang on. Wait a minute. If I could just finger the button. Oh,
Finger the button. Oh, look at that.
shiny. You can have it flashing. You can have it static.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Have you tried the wheels yet? Have you folded wheels in?
The wheels out, man. I mean, I can't. It's broken.
Don't break it. Don't break it.
It's quite hard to get them to go in. Actually, it takes a bit of.
Yeah, I got it.
Oomph.
I got it. Yeah, you can make it fly and stuff. This is awesome.
Especially at our age.
Anyway,
hey, speak for yourself. My flux capacitor's all right, I think.
Flux capacitor actually lights up. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't lose your Einstein.
I haven't lost my Einstein.
I bet
Kids come with Einstein. That's awesome.
You get Einstein, but I bet Webb loses it in a week. Bet you.
I haven't lost any bits.
He'll be on next week crying, going, "I lost my Einstein."
You
told me not to.
Don't say that.
Because I'm not going to concentrate on the show while this DeLorean sat next to me all the way through it. It's so awesome. Playmobil.
Nice.
I mean, do you agree they shouldn't be that well made because they're so good?
It is such a brilliant design and everything. Yeah, they nailed it, man. It shouldn't be this good.
I mean, the Lego DeLorean I think looks pretty rubbish because of the, they've got like the jagged bonnet on it.
Yeah, no, it's not right. But they haven't done a proper one like they did with the Ecto one, have they yet? I think if they do a Ultimate Collector's DeLorean, it'll be good. Because the Batmobile, did you see the Tim Burton Batmobile from Lego? And the Batwing?
I think so.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
Yeah. Hey, Barry, welcome back.
Cool.
How you doing, man? Lovely to see you.
Is Barry an actor by any chance?
Barry is an actor, and I think he's joined in for some hot John Candy chat tonight.
Oh, lovely. He's got his headshot on his profile there. I could tell. That's a headshot.
Barry for anyone casting anything at the minute. Barry is a wonderful actor, and he's actually a very good director as well.
Yeah.
And he's a brilliant writer. I did a play years ago, and we did 2 runs of the play, and then about 10 years later, I was doing a show at the Royal Opera House, and I'm chatting to this guy in the dressing room about this play that I did about football hooliganism, and he was like, "Oh, was it called Hooligans? I wrote that." And it turned out I'd actually met Barry 10 years previously to come to see the show.
Wow.
Brilliant play, he's an awesome writer, really, really cool guy. We
appreciate your support, Barry. We really do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we won't let you down with the candy facts.
Thank you, Rich.
We got the Candy Man in the top corner there. Official Candy Man.
Yeah. Our official
Candy fan. He's the number one candy.
Right, so Webby, what is your favourite film franchise of all time?
Of all time? Ooh, all times. Mine's Lord of the Rings. Suck it.
Is it really?
It is, yeah. It absolutely is. In fact, not just Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings extended cut. I'm going to go so far as to... Usually when people put a load of scenes back in a movie, you're like, ugh. Honestly, every one of those extended deleted scenes is worthy of being there. There's loads more Gollum. They don't skimp on the effects in the extra scenes. It tells more of the story. It really, really fleshes it out. I love those films. I'm looking forward to seeing the 4K version because Peter Jackson allegedly sat down last year and looked at them and was like, they need updating, don't they? And they sat down and reworked some of the CGI, which has been bugging me for a bit. When it first came out, I thought it looked amazing.
I'm going to say there's a video of him talking about it on YouTube, about the 4K prints. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I love the films. I love the first film so much. I've never read the books. I came out the first film, and I knew there was another year to wait for the next one coming out of the cinema. So in that year, I read all the books, so I clued up when the second and third film came out. And I'll never have to read them again. Don't get me wrong; they're brilliant, but bloody hell, they go on a bit. There was literally pages and pages of 9-page songs about moss and shit. It's really, you got, you got to bear with it. But the story is amazing. The characters the guy fleshed out, and the languages he invented for the different characters, it's just stunning. I love it.
Are you including the Hobbit films?
No,
in that?
they can suck my balls. They were awful. They were awful.
That's
Sorry,
weird, though. That's weird.
Oh, the
I
Hobbits.
didn't mind them.
I liked them. I really enjoyed both of them. That's why I asked, because I know that you didn't.
There's 3 of them.
I mean, that's originally there were just going to be 2, weren't they? And then they extended all that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I probably need to rewatch them, but they didn't do it for me. I really expected it to be just to have all that feel that the first film had. That's the other thing that I get swept up in, is the camaraderie between the cast in the first 3 films. The way they all just bonded, loved each other so much, and they were together for so long making these movies. But they were a brotherhood by the time they came out at the end of it.
You know, it's interesting, right? You say about. I was just thinking about what we talked about, even with the prequel Star Wars films. I know we weren't going to talk about Star Wars, but the fact that the characters are different and they kind of bounce off each other, whereas all the characters are the same. Really, there's no real distinguishing thing between them as the dwarves, really. I mean, they've got different personalities, but not enough. Whereas Lord of the Rings, you've got all those different kind of, elves and dwarves there, Gimli and all that, and then, Aragorn. They're all different, characters out there coming together. I think that says a lot. And like we had the Jedis in the prequels, there were nobody with a bit of comic. They tried with Jar Jar, obviously. Nobody with a bit of comic sensibility.
Right. The Hobbits didn't have the charm for me in the flow of the other ones. It's an interesting story. It's a great.
The book's brilliant. The book's brilliant.
No doubt. I know that, but that's what I mean. It didn't translate to the screen as well as it should have done for me. Considering it's by the same team, I don't know. I just thought I was going to love it a bit more than I did.
I feel like the book reads better than the Lord of the Rings.
Do you think it wasn't? It was going to be. It wasn't Peter Jackson originally who was going to do it, was it? We're can't remember his
Michael.
name.
Michael.
No. He took over again. There was somebody else doing it. He did all them. He did Hellboy in that.
Guillermo del Toro.
That's it. Yeah. He was on board making it, wasn't he? And then he had to drop out, and then Peter Jackson had to come in. So I don't know what that version would have been like.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if I'm bothered either way, because if Peter Jackson couldn't make it interesting for me, then I don't know. There were a few cool bits about it. Don't get me wrong. I really liked Smaug. I really like how they did the dragon. I thought it looked marvelous.
I'll tell you what I wasn't bothered with. That all the Legolas stuff that they shoved in it. Where on that. That thing, with the third film where he was running across that thing, it was all crumbling under him and all that. You just think,
it should have been a bit more interesting, I thought Bilbo, what's your man, Martin Freeman? I thought he was great. Great.
He's always good. He's always good as Martin Freeman.
Anytime Gollum's on screen, I'm there, and I'm like, yeah, brilliant, I love it. But for some reason, the dwarves and all that shit didn't really sit well with me. I can't quite decide who the interesting dwarf is. Do you know what I mean? Is it the guy that's got the love story? Is it the guy that's the king? Is it the guy that's they just couldn't decide, and it just flip-flopped a bit too much for me. They're all the same species of dwarf, but there's supposed to be all these differences between them, and it just didn't do it for me, man.
And what do you think about what about the series that's coming out? Do you think that's going to be any good or what? Lord of the Rings. Are you looking forward to that one?
No, I don't. No, I'm probably going to watch it, but I just don't. I don't know if lightning strikes twice with this shit. There's something magical about those films for me. I watch them at least once a year. I have to, really sit down and watch them night after night. Watch the full versions, and I'm just not convinced that the TV show is going to hold much water. But everybody's desperate for a replacement for Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly what it is. Get something medieval that we can get people into. People keep shouting Spartacus and Vikings at me. Watch this stuff. It's like Game of Thrones. Man, I'm not going to invest in another TV show that's going to let me down as much as...
Do you think they should remake Grot Bags?
Yeah.
As in, do you remember T-Shirt and Tabitha?
Yeah.
Did you? What was it called?
T-shirt.
Was it called T-shirt and Tabitha, or Tabitha and T-shirt? It was like the Hunt for the Golden Spoons or something. Hunt for the Silver Spoons.
Did that have gold? That had emu in it,
I don't
didn't it?
know what
And
that is.
drop bags and shit.
Yeah, and it was two
that what it was
kids,
called?
and is it T-shirt, Tabitha and T-shirt, and they had to go around and get like 15 silver teaspoons or something like that.
Yeah, I've got a vague memory of it, but I'm blending a few other shows in there. At the same
Anyone remembers? If anyone remembers what that show was, please
Remember
let us know. Yeah, ha ha, this away, ha ha, that away, ha ha, this away, my oh my.
But yeah, I mean, Grot Bags died. The lady died who made. Who's going to
Yeah, but they
replace her?
remake it, don't they? Somebody with green makeup on.
I mean, as origin stories go, the only interesting thing about Grot Bags is who named her. Is that her parents that named her, or did she pick her own witch name after going to witch school or Hogwarts or whatever?
2023, we'll have a series about the origin of her.
Yeah, you're writing it. You're going to start writing it now.
Do it, Lummy. Some Grot Bags fan fiction.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Grot Bags must have been a last name, surely. Mr. and Mrs. Grot Bags had a daughter who fell in a cauldron.
Well, okay. So it's like Lizzie Grot Bags or Anne or something. Anne Grot Bags.
And then she says, I'm no longer called Lizzie. From now, I'll just be called Grot Bags.
Gertrude Grot Bags.
Yeah.
All right.
Likes herself,
the story of this is a lady that tried to be all these other things. Like she wanted to be a butcher or a designer, but because she had green skin and just kept pushing her to the witchy world. And she's
I mean, yeah.
Grot Bags it is.
I mean, it's almost the story of Wicked, actually. You know, yeah. It's that's the thing. Wicked is kind of almost parallel, sort of a little bit before, but almost parallel then to the Wizard of Oz, and it's kind of the tale behind the two witches, the good witch and the evil witch, and it kind of takes a look at it, and go, well, what if the Wizard of Oz was kind of propaganda?
Can you give us a song?
What led Elf? Yeah, I'll sing "Defying Gravity" for you. No, of course not. I'm not going to sing anything from that show. But no, Wicked's a great show. It's a really good show.
I heard that on the radio the other day. I didn't know it was from Wicked.
Yeah. It's Elf the song. It's brilliant. What was your worst movie franchise, Robbie?
Fast and Furious. Just don't. I mean, I could slag it off till the cows come home, the king comes home, whoever comes home. I could still. Slagging it off. The reason I don't like it is because it's alpha male bullshit. It's about cars primarily, and it's terrible acting. I tried to watch the first one, and then before I knew it, I turned around and there were another fucking 9 movies came out. Like they've done in a sequel. People are just not sick of this shit yet.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I was going to pick this as well until you did, and I was like,
what movie franchise has the most amount of films in it? I mean, that's got to be up there, right?
It must be James.
James Bond, of course. Yeah.
James Bond, Harry Potter. How many of them is there? 7,
8 or 9.
Is 8.
And then you've got,
the 2 other ones.
Police Academy 7.
If you count all the Star Treks, there's probably 10 or 15 of them as well now, if you count all of them. Yeah, so it's close though. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I felt bad when Paul Walker died. That was really sad. That was a bit of a bummer of a bit of news. And it was a time where it just seemed to keep happening. Celebrities kept dying in horrible car crashes. There was the guy from Jackass as well, wasn't there? And somebody else I can't remember. But yeah, nothing against any of the cast, man. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but it's just not for me. So I'm sorry if I've hurt anybody's feelings out there. Any Paul Walker fans want to come and hunt me down. In fact, it's just a personal thing. I'm just not really. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm giving them a chance, you know. But I was never a fan of Gone in 60 Seconds. Any movie that's just primarily about blokes driving cars, it's not really for me. Spaceships.
Did you see the Transporter with Jason Statham?
No, I worked in
the first cinema. When that came out, we were in cinema, and I watched it because we had to watch the movies, didn't we? And I thought it wasn't too bad, the first one. I've not seen the other ones, but I thought, this isn't too bad. It knew what it was, you know, tongue in cheek and all that.
It's just the style of movie that I'm not into, you know. I mean, and sometimes I can let my guard down and get into something like that, but this just wasn't one for me. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know what it is about. I don't drive. Maybe that's it. I'm not a driver.
Yeah. I'm not into car films either. The
I mean, the
exact same
biggest
reason.
car movie of all, which was a franchise, is obviously Herbie.
Not even a fan of that.
No, me neither.
Come on,
It never did it for me. No, I'm not.
Come on.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
You've got
Not even
hearts.
Herbie Goes Bananas, where he properly loses his shit, starts murdering people. In fact, that'd be
He
more
does.
a car that starts murdering the shit out of people. That'd be pretty interesting. But that's been done.
Did it not melt your stone cold hearts when Herbie were hanging off the San Francisco Bridge and he's like going to commit suicide? I mean, come on.
No, I don't remember it. It's one of those, again, I remember going to a video shop in the early 80s and there were things like Herbie on there. I remember my nana renting it out for us to give it a go. It's just not my cup of tea.
All right, fair enough.
I remember I used to go to the video shop with my dad, and I used to always kind of push the boat with the ratings of the films. So it started like, I was like 12, 13. It's like, can I get this 15? Yeah, of course you can, no problems. And like within a couple of years, he was renting 18s for me, and there I am going, oh, Revenge of the Nerds, brilliant! This is a great film. It was awesome. The amount of
my
shit.
dad was pretty similar. He didn't give a shit about the class of the rating.
Nah, mine neither.
When we were kids, I remember him bringing Hellraiser home and RoboCop.
Yeah, we watched the original The Blob and the Zombie Flesh Eaters when I was about 7 or 8. It was just like crazy.
Yeah, man, I watched it. I watched it all. Aliens, Terminator.
Did you go through a phase of renting films out as well to try and scare yourself? Because I did that. I once got all the Nightmare on Elm Streets out to go. Yeah, I'm going to challenge myself and watch them all. And one of them, I remember where they pull the veins out and they use them as puppets.
That's right. Yeah,
and that was the only one where I went. Ugh. But all the rest were like fine. But I've got a problem with stuff coming out of people's arms. I don't know why. And going, like I've said this before. I think when people getting injected on films, like Train Spotting. With Train Spotting where it shows close up at. So can't do with it. I don't know why. Yeah, but I can go get injections. Fine.
Sweet heroin involved.
Yeah. Maybe I just think
they seem to like it anyway.
Yeah. I have no problem injecting myself at all.
Oh, all right, that's good.
It's just watching other people.
It's I assume the first one was pretty terrible. I assume the next 8 aren't up to much.
Did any of you work at the cinema when Train Spotting was on?
No, yes. I started at the audience just after Train Spotting came out.
What sort of crowd came to see Train Spotting?
Just heroin addicts.
Yeah, went at the end of the film when they gave a round of applause. Was it like this?
Very nice. No,
it's 35 years to tell that joke.
Oh no, yeah, it's brilliant. I wrote that.
Well, I hope it got the payoff you wanted.
That was exactly it. Yeah, I mean, could have expected a bit more from Nathan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
RoboCop.
Yeah, I remember when he brought. This is not on 18, but I remember when my dad was really excited about Bill and Ted coming out. He was a rocker dad. Do you know what I mean? A pretty cool dad. He's like, oh yeah, like me. So he'd heard about Bill and Ted, and he brought it home one day. Came into the living room with a big grin on his face. He got Bill and Ted, and we were sat there watching it. We'd just been and rented it. Totally took the wind out of his sails.
I rewatched both of those the other week. Bogus Journey
before the new one. Yeah.
I didn't realise Thingy Carlin was Rufus.
George Carlin,
George Carlin. Yeah, I just had no idea, and then suddenly I was like, wait, that's George Carlin. Yeah,
it's weird as well. He's not in a right lot of films. I'm not sure why they got him or how, but he's in it, and he's not bad.
He just didn't want to do a lot. It was stand up, wasn't he? He didn't really want to do films. That's why. He hosted the first episode of Saturday Night Live. That's worth checking out if you ever get a chance.
He had a little thing called Integrity, which made it difficult for him to sell out for stuff like big blockbuster movies and advertisements.
Very true. Very true.
It was in Jersey Girl, wasn't it? Kevin Smith.
Yes, he was, but that was a favour to Kevin Smith because they really got on. He absolutely loved George Carlin. Yeah. He has a habit of befriending people just before they die as well. It's Kevin Smith. Like,
yeah, him and Stan Lee were really good friends.
Yeah.
weren't
I don't know if you. Oh God, this is totally off track, but it already is anyway. But George, but Kevin Smith, how he offered to house Stan Lee because there was all these reports that Stan Lee's nurses and the people that were looking
they?
after
Taking
him,
advantage of him, and yeah.
beating him and nipping him and like punching him and just taking his money and stuff. But Kevin Smith swooped in and sort of had a massive hand in getting him looked after by the right sort of people. So bless him for that, you know.
Yeah, man, he's got a massive heart.
Yeah,
Good man. So my best movie franchise, maybe. Oh, I thought you were going to say nobody asked. Sorry.
We just have one more thing about George.
there you go. Outrageous Fortune, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite movie franchise is the Harry Potter franchise. Love it. Absolutely love the Harry Potter. Look, okay. The acting of the kids throughout isn't great. It does get better around about the 4th, 5th film, but which is more than half of the series into the franchise. But it's just a great. I watch it like you said about Lord of the Rings. I watch it a couple of times a year. Brilliant autumnal Christmas viewing. Really makes me want to be a wizard. I love the books, and yeah, they're just really, really fun films. You know, it's very easy. You can rip them apart in many, many ways if you're a fan of the books. And because, you know, again, some of the kids' acting is pretty turd in it. But they've done a really good job.
What's the worst acting bit for you in it? Have you got any favourite bits?
It is a Rupert Grint bit, actually. In fact, I think most of the worst acting bits are Rupert Grint bits. And I can't remember what it is, but he does a look. Something bad's happening. It might have been in the second one, and he goes like that.
It's just got that face for the entire film. That's not his strongest film at all. It's
the second one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's the Chamber of Secrets. I mean, I've got to back you up here, Gittins. I love the books. I don't mind most of the films. We watch them. I think once a year.
I've only watched them once ever. I've never seen them more than once. Yeah. I thought we were going to do a retrospective anyway on the way out. We
will do at some point. Yeah.
I'll watch them for that because, you know.
No, fair. They're like a comfy pair of slippers. You just know where you are with them. You could just, you know, if you want a day where you just kind of pull up a blanket, have a duvet day, it's a perfect film or series of films just to stick on, load of snacks. Pull the curtains.
Right, out of the 8 films, some of them are really, really good. They have got that big because each book has got those beats of like really good drama and interesting stuff going on. The films are
put me off
by the kids.
When I
perfectly cast. Sorry,
I think there's a bit of a delay. Sorry. When I watched the first one, I saw it at the cinema, and there was an intermission halfway through, so it felt even longer. I think that's why it pissed me off.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
The first one's particularly long, though, is it? It's like 2 hours or something, maybe a bit over 2 hours.
Well, what with the intermission, they had a half an hour, and all these kids were like, "Yay!" And I'm like, "Oh, come on."
Get your ice cream on your own time, you bitches.
Yeah.
Nah,
get it wand.
And some brilliant actors in them as well. I mean,
like I say, the adult casting in those films is fucking perfect.
Awesome.
Does the Dumbledore change bother you or not?
No, not at all. Michael Gambon's amazing.
Dude, he fucking died. It's not like they did it on purpose and recast the guy.
I know that, but I'm just wondering if it was jarring. It's like Back to the Future, innit, where they changed Jennifer back. You know, you go.
A really good job. The weird thing is that he de-ages by about 30 years, which is a bit strange. But the new one is great.
I prefer Michael Gambon's version of it.
He used his beard as well, didn't he? He's got like a thing on his beard.
I think Michael Gambon probably has a closer portrayal to the Dumbledore in the books as well. Personally
speaking, I think you're right. I think they're great. I think I think the only adult actor in it for me that doesn't quite do it because he sort of goes a bit too cheesy is Kenneth Branagh. Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yeah, I quite liked its portrayal. I quite liked it.
Who's amazing is obviously Snape's fantastic. Alan Rickman's amazing. But we've got, what's she called? Helena Bonham Carter as well. She's great.
She's brilliant. Yeah. Imelda Staunton is amazing.
Gary Oldman, fantastic. Professor, what's the one who does the gardening? Professor Hufflepuff. No, what's she called? Professor
Hufflepuff.
Professor Fungal Fate.
Professor Sprout. Even I know that.
I know. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. She is the.
How come you were both? How come you're the big Harry Potter fans? You don't even know that.
The only reason is. Yeah, the reason was because I wasn't really listening to the question. I was just repeating what it was that Nathan just said. But yeah, no, she is the house master for Hufflepuff, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great in it as well. Yeah, so most of the adults in it are fantastic. They are let down by the slightly weaker kids acting in it. They need what?
Harsh.
No, some of the acting is really shit.
Yeah, it's great shit. And I get it. The kids, they're excited to be there, and I just think that's the job of the director to sort out. You got to be brutal. I don't know how Steven Spielberg got away with it in certain movies. He seems to get amazing performances out of child actors.
So but we're talking about Chris Columbus. I mean, he's worked with a lot of kids before, and he's done some wonderful films and worked on some amazing projects.
Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone.
Exactly that. But anyway, my worst movie franchise is, and this might be controversial to some, but it's Star Trek. Go fuck yourselves. It's shit.
It's not going to be controversial. Some it will be. Not possibly. It will be.
If you like Star Trek, there's no way you're going to be happy with what you just said. You're probably throwing stuff at your laptop right now.
I didn't bother getting all 20 pictures up of the films. I just got the first one.
Yeah.
Just never enjoyed Star Trek. Never gotten into it. It's just
when I was a kid,
the modern versions of it. It's
my dad used to have it on the telly all the time, and I never liked it. And I think my brother used to watch it with him, especially when Next Generation came out. From what I've been told, if I were to enjoy any of the Star Trek franchise, it would probably be Next Generation because it's written with a bit of humor and it's got a great cast and stuff. But just never did it for me either. I think I've got Star Wars, and for me, Star Wars don't feel like it's taking most of the time, don't feel like it's taking the piss out of its own material. And with Star Trek, there's all them wobbly sets and shit.
Yeah. I think for me, Star Trek was basically was the GoBots to Transformers. Do you know what I mean? To Star Wars, Star Trek was what the GoBots were to Transformers.
But it raises an interesting question, doesn't it? As a fan of stuff, if you like to call yourself a geek, are you allowed to not like to just dip out of certain pools you don't like?
Of course you are. I mean, that is exactly what this community does, doesn't it? It fucking absolutely hates on some things whilst championing other things.
I mean, even things like Battlestar Galactica and V, I never got into. I didn't like all of it just because I like Star Wars. That seems to be what people think. You know,
it's not like I didn't try. I have tried to watch all of these shows.
I didn't like the original Star Trek series, like you said, with the wobbly sets. I was never really bothered about that. But I do like the movies, the Captain Kirk and Spock movies, and then the Next Generation films. I quite like the films, and I liked Next Generation series. I watched a lot of that, not loads of it though. Not like Die-Hard fan. I just watched it if it were on, at tea time.
I like Die-Hard.
Yeah, Die-Hard. Oh yeah. And then I did watch Enterprise with Quantum Leap guy Scott Bakula. I quite like that, but that got panned quite a lot by critics, I think. But I quite liked it because you were in it. You used to like Quantum Leap. But I did watch.
But I went to see one of the Star Trek films at the ABC cinema. Star Trek Generations. And I were in it in a packed screen full of Star Trek fans. And they alienate you because if you don't know the joke, like for instance, there's a character called Data who's an android and don't have a sense of humor. He's a robot, right? But in this one, he was cracking jokes. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's not supposed to happen. He's a robot," And they made me feel like a twat for not being able to understand the joke. I thought, I don't know. It's like
we've got an interesting comment here, Daniel. Star Wars isn't.
I mean, I strong disagree. But it's if that's a hill that you want to stand on, Dan.
You know,
Science fiction. So what? Star Wars is science facts. Then is that what? No, I'm just trying to.
It's an interesting one. I mean, it's a controversial comment, does our Dan?
I just
even if you don't agree with his own bullshit, he'll stick by it. It's great.
I'd like to know why.
But I really appreciate that comment because it's really rattled Lummy. Look at me, he doesn't know what to do in his little box there. He's like, but why? But why? So you prefer science fiction? Oh, it's brilliant, Lummy. I've never seen you so. Not since I was criticizing the Goonies have I seen you this rattled.
Dude, and if you're waiting for a reaction or a response or an answer or you won't get that. You just leave it hanging there.
I'm actually. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what you're on about.
I'd say that if I was rattled as well, Lummy. But yeah, so that is my worst movie franchise. And next up, we have our retrospective look back at what a wonderful film it is. John Candy in the John Hughes film. Uncle Buck. Yeah. Why? What else were we going to go into?
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. There we are.
You just started it like instantly. I'm like, we're not having a breather for a minute.
Well, I mean, what do you want to do? Go to the toilet or something?
You actually really need.
I was just looking. We've got more. We got more comments. That's all. Wait a minute. We got.
It's Wizards in Space.
And we got this. I went to see Star Trek 5 with my mum and dad at the Vale Cinema in Wakefield, the cheapest run-on penny cinema in the world. Yeah.
Nice. Hello, Pop Not Broth. Lovely to see you again. And thank you for that link you sent to me as well. I watched it last night. It was good. It was a remaking of the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight.
Oh,
the bully one. Yeah, it was funny. But anyway, confession time, gentlemen. So we were going to be doing ET, and obviously it triggered the shit out of me this week just because I'm a bit of a rough week, which is totally fine. So we decided we were going to do Uncle Buck instead. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but
what am I putting my hand up for?
I've never seen Uncle Buck before.
That's all right.
What?
Did you like it?
Yeah, I fucking loved it. It was brilliant. I watched it last night, and it was absolutely awesome. What a wonderful couple of hours. Brilliant. Really funny. John Candy at his best. Really good film.
I haven't seen it since we were at college, so I thought I remembered it a lot better than I did. There were a couple of bits in there that I was like, I forgot about this. Or I'm too young to really understand. It's totally different watching a film as a 40-year-old than it is, when you're in your 20s even, because you just understand so much more. But yeah, I really enjoyed it too. And it's just impossible to not like John Candy. It's just impossible. He's just a fundamentally likable dude. You want to know him. You want him to be your Uncle Buck.
Yeah, totally. And in fact, actually, that was the kind of experience because the way the film starts actually is you're introduced to a series of incredibly unlikable characters, right? And particularly the parents.
Do you want to go
for it? Yeah. But it's just the point being. So the point being that you see these really, really unlikable characters. So you see Tia, the daughter, really mean to her mum.
Mean, shitty, miserable fucking teenager, straight out of Ferris Bueller.
Look,
again, isn't it?
Macaulay Culkin and is it Maisie? Is that her name?
Yeah. Miles and Maisie. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. You get the impression they're quite nice kids, but the mum is just such an insanely unlikable character. She does a good job because she's obviously, rattled by the daughter, and the dad is just a douchebag. I'm kind of watching it, and I'm like,
he just looks like he's given up. He's just not.
Yeah, he's a douchebag. So I'm watching it, and I'm like,
he's got no opinion of his own. Yeah, but sorry, go on.
So I'm watching it, and it's like unlikable character, unlikable character, unlikable character, and then suddenly you just get a shot of Uncle Buck, of John Candy, and like a big old smile just erupted on my face. I was like, thank God we've finally seen John Candy in this, and it
Oh,
just made me so happy. And he's so happy.
Just to go back to that picture, Lummy, that's the bit where he's talking to his girlfriend. I'm putting that in quotes. You can't see it because of the picture, but it's in air quotes because he's one of these 40-something blokes who can't be tied down. He don't want kids. He don't want the responsibility. He wants to be who he is. But there's a line where he says to his missus, oh, what does she say? He says, she goes, oh, you're always making excuses. And he goes, I'm not, honestly. If I could think of an excuse you'd got, I'd use it. I just thought that is it's a great John Candy line. If I could think of an excuse you would buy, I'd just use that.
It's just so beautifully candid and honest. It's just...
Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Let's just deal with this.
No, absolutely. He's brilliant in that. He's brilliant.
To be fair, he's brilliant in fucking Spaceballs, and that's a terrible movie.
Yeah. He was the best.
I tried.
It's a shit. I hated it, apart from John Candy.
Semitic film I've seen written by a Jew that just baffles me. I'm like, why are you so hard on your own people? What's wrong with you?
We're not talking about Spaceballs, are we?
We're talking about Candy. Candy's ability to transcend.
He's brilliant though. It's everything he's in. He's brilliant. It's just great. Absolutely brilliant.
I even believe Lummy's comment last week that he said Candy even made Who's Harry Crumb likable, and it's a crap film. I think you even said you love that film, even though you know it's crap because he's in it. I love it. And that's the power of Candy. I've never seen it.
That didn't do very well when it came out. Who's Harry Crumb, but I think it's got a bit of a cult following now, and I love it. It shows off what John Candy can do in a way. He does a lot of disguises and all that, and all them. He's having loads of fun in the film.
Don't need to me. I'm a Candy fan. I'm the Candy fan can.
The Candy fan can.
Do you know if you say Candy fan in front of a mirror 3 times, that it doesn't matter. So it wasn't actually the original pick for the film as well. It was actually a huge list of people who were also up for the part of Uncle Buck, including Bill Murray, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, Steve Martin, Michael Keaton, Tim Allen, Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, Dudley Moore, John Travolta, Joe Pesci.
At least 8 of those people you've mentioned might have made a decent job of this film.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Robin Williams would have been good. Danny DeVito would have been good. Jack Nicholson. I don't know about John Travolta. I'm not sure he would have been.
I don't think Tom Cruise could have pulled it off. We were only fucking 20.
I know. I don't understand how that would have, Oh, and John Goodman as well.
Where did you get this list from?
Screen Rant.
This is news to Lummy. You can see it's rattling in now. Hang on a minute. This isn't official Candy news. This is bullshit.
I thought he actually wrote this for John Candy, though, anyway. I thought he actually wrote it for him. I know he wrote it for him, but...
I believe Rich knows more about John Candy and Uncle Buck than you.
So, actually, in the end, Hughes' working relationship with Candy on the set of Planes, Trains and Automobiles was what swung it for him. And for the role of Buck's brother, Bob, Rick Moranis was also considered.
That would have
been good. I'd like Rick Moranis in that role.
Rick Moranis is in enough fucking films. Honestly, I love him.
If you want to see, I know I go on about this shit all the time, but if you want to see John Candy and Rick Moranis together, watch SCTV. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, that's how they started, wasn't it?
All of it. Canadian episodes.
Oh, Jesus, I'm not going to watch every one. I've seen it though. The 2 beer swilling Canuck brothers that did that movie, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Canadian Bacon, or is that a different couple of characters?
Canadian Bacon's John Candy film that he made with Michael Moore and.
The 2 characters that they used to drink the beer together.
Yeah,
they were.
I
can't remember the name of it. But anyway, if you want to see a grown man piss his pants,
it's called Special Brew.
Just keep watching.
Strange
I'm
Brew.
going to have to go, guys. I really need a wee. Sorry.
Okay, carry on.
It's all right. We'll kick you out of the room.
See you later, Webby. Happy peeing. So, also the casting for Tia for his niece. Originally, they wanted John Hughes wanted Winona Ryder after seeing her performance in Beetlejuice, but she was too busy filming Heathers at the time. So this was I think her name is Jean. Can't remember her name. It's Jean something or other. But she is her first feature film. JFK as well.
Yeah, good in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, you don't expect him to be in a film like that.
Well, they were nervous to be in it, I think they said, and I think Kevin Costner stuck up for him and said, get him in
really?
it. He'll do a good job. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. But he's a good, he's a good serious actor, I think, as well. And some of these scenes, even in this, even in his comedy stuff, it's so good that you believe him all the way through it. You believe him, don't you, in these films?
Actually, there's one moment in this film that really stuck out like a sore thumb for me, and it's the one bit I was kind of like, man, you've really taken me out of this. And it's when he's on the phone to, what's his girlfriend called? Is it Shanice? Yeah, he's on the phone to Shanice, and he's obviously not on the phone to anyone in real life, but in the film, he's on the phone to her, and he's just answering. He's
it's this bit. I've got it.
And it's just, and it really stuck out because it was really obvious that he was just, just.
It was a bit. It was a bit, though, wasn't it? It was a bit.
Yeah, it was, but it didn't. It jarred. It jarred with the rest of the film for me.
So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to go through the movie or not? Do you want to go through it and we'll talk about?
Pretty simple movie.
No, it isn't.
There it is.
You know what, man? I thought that when I pick slides for these things every time. And when I started this, I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll get about 10 slides. I actually got more slides for this movie than I did for the Star Wars ones.
Of course you did, Lemmy.
It's John Candy.
Everything you've pulled out.
Look at his face. Look at his face. He knows what he's done. Look at him.
So we're going to spend 3 hours on this movie.
That doesn't mean that
you better go to Lou again before we start.
You know what I can't work out about that is I've went to the loo twice before we started tonight, and that was the biggest wee of the wheeze. What was that all about? I hadn't been drunk that much.
And you thought it was going to be the veg chili that caught you out during the show.
You're playing with fire, literally.
So
anyway.
yes, we've got this insanely unlikable family, or this kind of fairly dysfunctional, really upper class posh family, and suddenly they are hit with a bit of a crisis in that
they get the news.
They get the news that the mum of the family's father has had a heart attack, and they need to go and be there with him, and they need to find someone who's going to look after their 3 children. And they find them out neighbours.
Like take the kids with them, or let the 15-year-old look after the kids. There's no other solution. No neighbours, nobody. Just this
They try the neighbours. They try the neighbours. There's nobody.
There's one neighbour that they don't want to ask a favour to, and then the other neighbours, they're not around. So they end up suggesting his brother Bob suggests his brother Buck, and the mum is not too happy with this suggestion, is she? She's a little bit freaked out.
She's a snob.
She is. She's not a like character at all.
Total snob. Yeah. I mean, Kevin McAllister's mum is a total snob as well, but somehow she's a bit more likable than this mum.
Yeah.
This is before Home Alone as well, isn't it? Macaulay Culkin looks a lot younger than he does in the first Home Alone. But you can totally see why whatever Macaulay Culkin's doing right in this movie really works.
Macaulay Culkin
fucking franchise.
Yeah. Him and John Candy are the best things in this film. They're amazing.
So John Candy accepts the offer. He says, "Yeah, sure, no problem," and he drives down straight away, letting his girlfriend down because his girlfriend expects him at work the next day, and he's always trying to duck out of work. She's like, "You better come this time. You better show up at work."
This is where he said that line. If I could think of an excuse, I would, but I can't. So.
So he drives down to the family house and meets the kids.
And then you've got this great gag where it's at the wrong door. He's shouting. He's shouting across the street.
Well, we can't keep it together.
I don't see.
I can't talk about this film too much because I just start laughing at everything. So you better do the donkey work on this one.
You know when Lummy said he found more pictures for this film than even Star Wars, I'm thinking that picture wasn't necessarily one of the key moments of the film. But there you are, Lummy.
There was more than this. I just couldn't. There was 3 pictures of the bowling ball falling out of the cupboard on his head at one point, and I had to delete them because I went. This might be. I even had to censor myself on this one. So you nearly got a shot-by-shot bowling ball. So think yourselves lucky.
On a serious note, though, for me, this film is a bit heartbreaking as well. I'm looking at John Candy. He's a strapping bloke. He's fucking over 6 foot. I'm not sure how big he is. You probably know that. 6'3", Lummy or something. It's a big strapping lad. And there's a bit where he stood in a jumper, and you can see his stomach, and you're thinking, "Geez, I just want to go back in time and say, just cut down on the cigarettes and the cigars and stuff a bit, and eat a salad once in a while, mate, because it ain't going to end pretty for you." It's worryingly big, and it really upsets me. Not that it's up to people what they do, but just knowing how his path ended up, and you're watching a film like this, you can see why, and it's so sad. And there's a bit right where he gets to the house and he meets the kids he hasn't seen. He's only met one of them, hasn't he? The other ones are too young.
Well, he thinks he's like, oh, she must be about 10 now, but she's actually 15, and he thinks the other 2 are babies. But
so there's a bit.
He gets all names wrong. He thinks going over names.
Yeah, he's going over the name. It's great. It's lovely. But again, he makes that talking to himself totally believable. Like, oh yeah, he's just running through the daily whatever. But the bit that got me was when he's sitting back on the couch and he's got a box of Frosties on his chest and he's eating the Frosties from the box, and you're kind of thinking, yeah. But then he removes the box and he looks down at his chest and he goes, ugh, like, oh my God, I've got Frosties on me. Like, you wouldn't expect that. He's got the Hoover there and he sucks all the Frosties off. But my point is, like, you're eating Frosties out of the box and you're not watching. Why would you be surprised that you have got half a box of Frosties on your chest? You won't be surprised.
You nearly had a screenshot of that, and I didn't. I deleted that because I thought I've gone too many. I have got a screenshot before that where he's playing with the plate when he first goes into the house. And he just drops it, and it says "Unbreakable," and he smashes it on.
Yeah, that was it.
John Candy's back. I like that one. You got anywhere his eyes are closed.
I've got some shots in here that's going to make your eyes water. You're going to be crying at the end of this. You're going to be crying.
His left leg.
Oh God!
I've got all sorts ready for you two in here. You strap yourselves in.
I'm strapped.
Go on then, let me flick through it. So yeah, he's making a massive breakfast, and the kids aren't impressed with the breakfast that he's making. And Macaulay Culkin is great in this scene in the morning. The way that he reacts to the breakfast.
I love this bit where.
Yeah, that's great.
When he goes, "Who are you?" And then Candy goes, "I'm your Uncle Buck." Yeah, great.
Yeah,
yeah.
You want one?
And then he's like, "You put onion in the eggs." No, that's classic. Yeah. Classic line.
So now this scene. So when they were casting Macaulay Culkin, it was John Candy he'd worked with him he's worked with him in 3 movies, but Columbus decided that he wanted to because he'd been recommended for Home Alone by John Hughes and John.
Up a minute. John Candy and Macaulay Culkin did 3 movies together.
Yeah.
What are the other movies?
What?
It's in Home Alone.
Well, that was after this.
Before this.
No, I'm not on about before this. I mean about in total.
Oh, okay. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, sorry, not before this. So John Hughes recommended Macaulay Culkin to Columbus for Home Alone, and he saw the footage, really liked him in this, but he still auditioned 5 other kids for the role, but none of them were suitable, and so ended up calling Culkin to New York to do it. But the scene that we're talking about now is the only bit of the film I'd seen before watching it last night, and it's because it was on the trailer for Sky Movies when I was a kid, and it was just that scene edited together. Now that scene.
What's that interview? What's he say to him? Because it's really cool.
Well, this scene, in order for Macaulay Culkin to be able to get the lines out the way he did, John Candy actually wrote the lines out and had them over the top of his head for Macaulay Culkin to just fire them out at him, which I think is quite cute. It's got a nice idea that he was really good with the kids and just,
Lummy's book knowledge to shame here, Gaines. What's going on? It's all gone backwards.
I'm just, I'm just listening to him and ready.
Decide what he's making up.
Ready to pounce.
That one in the book.
There isn't a book. There isn't a book.
I'd fucking have the book if there were a book of the movie for this one. I'd have the storybook. I'd have the novel. I'd have the animated series. There's an animated John Candy series called Camp Candy, by the way.
Yeah. He'd have the book of book. He'd have the book of book. Did you watch the TV spin-off of Uncle Buck Cool?
No, but I have got. I was going to talk about that later. No.
Who's in it?
Two different versions of it. There's one in 2016 and another.
I was going to bloody talk. Hang on, then. Hang on. I have got. Here you go. I've got to skip to the fucking end.
All over his cabbage patch.
Right, the TV series. The TV series. That was the TV series. You can watch the episodes on YouTube. They are awful. And John Hughes didn't want anything to do with it. Nobody wanted anything to do with it who worked on the movie. And the only character who's in it...
They did the same thing with Ferris Bueller and they fucked that up as well.
Yeah. Bill and Ted, they did a Bill and Ted series as well. And it was awful live action. And then they rebooted it, like Rich says, 2000... When was this?
2016. I mean, so there was 1990 to 91 and then in 2016. Yeah.
Culkin.
Go watch the trailer. Go watch the trailer. It's just, Anyway, we've got that out of the way now instead of the end, so that's good.
Sorry, Lummy. Didn't mean to piss on you.
Your chips, Did they taste a bit like Richie's piss? Your chips?
No, I'm fine. I'm just listening. It's nice to listen and and just bring up some slides. Right. Yeah, goes to school in his car and it blows up. There you go.
And all the hipster 80s kids are like, oh, look at that guy.
Yeah. And then,
I like the fact that the car has become like a character in this film as well, because it has the catchphrase of it blowing up every time you see him get out of it.
As well, Macaulay Culkin, that picture you just put up of him getting his lunch that Buck has prepared for him out of his bag. Macaulay Culkin did really well not to throw up here, because fuck me, that is a repugnant looking lunch.
I've got a close up of the. Let's see what he had in his lunch.
Of course you've got a close up of it.
Of course, yeah. We got a bag full of pickle juice with like what looks like an egg or something. I
like the fact something's in water. What is that? It's like a tennis ball or something.
Pickled egg or something.
Yeah, it's something in brine or something like that.
And what looks like a bag of just like carrots or something. It's horrible.
Right. Hang on then. Right, here's one for you, Rich. Do you know about the subplot that was cut about all this?
No.
Right. Okay. Right.
This is your moment, Lovey. This is your moment.
I'm going to shine. Right. Macaulay Culkin, with his lunch, right, was a subplot. Every day, he was getting more ridiculous stuff in his lunch, right? And he was trading with the kids and he become more popular because at the start of the movie, he's getting chased. He comes in, doesn't he? He says, I've been chased by these kids. Yeah. He's always getting bullied. Right. Yeah. So this was the subplot that made him popular with the kids, right? And in the trailer for the film, there's a shot of a locker where it's open and there's a Macaulay Culkin's lunch bag and it's like a heart going. So that's in the trailer. If you watch the trailer, that's shots in it. So you're like what's in there? So there you go, a little bit of a.
They certainly like to chop a lot of shit out of John Hughes films.
Well, did you know that this? Did you know that?
Worst thing is you get it.
Did you know, Lummy, that the filming location for this had to change as well?
Yeah, of course I did.
No, you didn't. That sounded like you made that up. No, you didn't, Lummy. You're like, where's he getting all this information?
Where's he found the Uncle Buck archive?
So as we know, John Hughes films are traditionally filmed in Shermer, Illinois. However, he wanted to film this in St. Louis, Missouri. And
they're not. The set in Shermer, Illinois.
no, that's what I mean. Set in Shermer, Illinois, but he wanted this to be in St. Louis, Missouri. And when they got there, the weather was typically unseasonal for what they wanted, so they had to come back to Chicago. And they filmed it in a high school that had 3 gyms, and they turned those gyms into big sound stages. And that's where they put all the locations and all the sets in there, and actually recreated corridors in the school within the gym. So they didn't actually use those.
They filmed Home Alone as well in the gym.
Yeah,
you know
they
that?
did Home Alone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The external stuff was all real, but
We got this here from Pop Not Broth. Clerks animated series was actually better than Clerks 2 and 3.
I haven't seen. Oh no, I have seen. No, I have seen the animated series. It's brilliant. Clerks animated series is really funny.
Yeah, it works. I haven't seen Clerks 3 though. I think you might be mistaken there. I don't think Clerks 3 is out.
No, we're talking about the maybe Thingy Hoses, the one that he did with his daughter.
I don't know. I don't know. I know that there's a script for Clerks 3, but it never got made. It's still they're still talking about making it, but apparently the guy who played Randall in it is just a bit reluctant to do it. He never considered himself to be an actor and didn't want to do it anymore. Mallrats 2 is the next one that's supposed to be coming out.
That'd be interesting.
Well, I've got an interesting one here. Here you go. This is where the tears start to flow in this film. Take a look at this.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Oh, that was such a horrible moment.
What a bitch.
I had a photo for every turn he made of the photograph, but I thought again it was too extreme.
You just can't seem to. Yeah, you're doing well, man. I'm proud of you.
I had to cut some stuff. I like an editor in his booth going, I can't lose the bowling ball, guy.
Before you took all the pictures out, was basically a stop motion silent version of the book.
It was a flick book.
It was.
Oh, man,
I had to make some tough decisions.
Except Lummy was doing all the voices. It's just like...
I wish I loved anything in the world as much as you love John Candy. I don't think I could compete. I'm sorry, family, fiance. You put me to shame. Anyway,
right. Then we meet for the first time, don't we, at the school when he goes to pick you up.
Bug. Yeah.
Bug. Yeah.
What a name.
What a prick.
And then he goes, what's his second name? Spray? And you're like, yeah, it is.
It's a pretty terrible joke. Right? What? A couple of like zingers in it. Yeah,
I like it.
So it's this kind of the start of John of Uncle Book getting involved in Tia's kind of personal life, and he kind of sees what this guy is doing. He sees what Bug's doing. He knows what this guy's. He knows he's a 15-year-old boy. He's got one thing, or a 16-year-old boy. He's got one thing on his mind, and there's his sort of 15-year-old niece, and he just doesn't want, especially on his watch, anyone taking advantage of this young lady, and he does everything he can to.
Have you got a still of his watch? Probably have. Of Uncle Bug's watch.
Maybe later on, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So basically, he smells the rapist on this kid, doesn't he? He's like, yeah, he's gonna try and rape somebody, and he's like, no chance. So he's watching him. But yeah, this teen girl who is so cocksure about everything and such a bitch to everybody. I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one for me. She's deliberately going out with this arsehole guy. Hey?
She's going through some troubles, isn't she? And that's what people do, innit? They rebel. She's rebelling against the mother.
I mean, they've just moved from the neighborhood that they used to live in. They've had to move house, so she's left all her friends behind. She's got no friends in the town, really. So she's just kind of latched onto this guy who finds her attractive, and it's just about being accepted, I guess. And I think that's where a lot of her troubles come from. She really resents the fact that her parents made the move. It took me a little while at the start to figure out what their relationship was, though, whether anyone was adopted or whether it was step sisters and brothers or anything like that, because of the way that she was talking about her mum, your mother, the person that you call mother, and all those sorts of things. I wasn't really sure what the functionality of the family was.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't like her. I didn't like her.
No.
Yeah. But so you've got throughout the movie you got some nice sweet bits like this bit.
Oh, I love these bits where
Yeah.
he's trying to sleep and the kid's just always. In fact, that's a great bit. That whole bit where he's rationalizing with Maisie why she can't sleep in his bed. He's like, "Oh, I drool horribly," and all these. It's such a lovely scene.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the film. Actually, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then she says, "Why don't we put your brother in your dad's pajamas and all that stuff?" That's all.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah.
man,
And then we meet the next door neighbor. Here we go.
Who? Yeah. So who thinks that she can hear John Candy? Well, hear somebody having sex.
And she's quite famous as well, this lady in her own right.
Is she?
Yeah, it's Laurie. I think she's called Laurie Metcalf. She was Roseanne's. She was Jackie and Roseanne. She was Sheldon's mum in The Big Bang Theory. She's the voice of Andy's mum in Toy Story.
Really?
She's quite famous.
Oh wow!
I didn't get you any photos from this bit other than that one. I didn't bother with the washing machine
That's
or all
all
that.
right.
That's all right, man. Yeah, she enters the house because apparently in the 80s it's all right for your neighbours to just walk into your house and fucking nose around. And she walks in to find a strange fat man trying to have sex with a tumble dryer. She thinks, something weird going on. I think she walks in and thinks that the mother of the family is still at home and she's got them fell around.
Yeah, of course she does.
And all that.
Of course she does.
And then it explains itself. And
anyone hazard a guess as to what the dog licks? Because that's
butthole.
it is a butthole.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, she's bent over.
Goes,
yeah.
Butthole. Yeah, I'm guessing it was butthole. I wrote down butthole.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a butthole cam. So yeah, it's a butthole
butt cam. Yeah. Okay, cool. With a brown eye lens, and so it's got a. She meets Uncle Buck, and actually it's a really kind of interesting meeting between these two. Between these two individuals.
Any stills?
Oh, Lummy. Well, do you know? Actually, later on in the film, what's your next still then, Lummy? Come on.
I've got loads of stills later with him as well. Don't worry about that. I've covered that scene. Right. So here you go.
Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Here you go. So they go bowling. There's his bowling ball, Buck Russell, and you meet this slime ball.
Oh God, pal! Yeah.
Another classic John Hughes.
I was going to say it's a brilliant John Hughes count. Yeah.
But the bit where he gets the fucking toothpick stuck in his own mouth.
Oh God! It actually made me physically. I physically reacted to that last night. I had sort of. I sort of sat up and I was like,
Yeah, I got a note here saying, "Do you think the toothpick sex pest guy ever had success with the moves he's using on this girl?
No.
Do you think that it ever worked? Like, I've got a toothpick and a black eye. I'm probably come on with me. Yeah, it's.
I think that's why he's got the black eyes. To be honest, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only person as well. This guy who was in the TV reboot. This guy actually was in it playing the character. Yeah.
Wow.
And you're like, wow. But then he meets another guy who seems a bit better than him. He talks to him and he tells him about a bet, doesn't he, on the horses for later.
Yeah, that's when you start to learn a little bit about what Buck does for a living, really, don't you? And he's a bit of a wheeler dealer.
Yeah. So he stands to make his yearly income potentially on this one horse meat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Then we've got a still for Wedmond. This is for you, man. You asked for it. You've got it.
Now this is really cool because
this pancake changes in size several times.
The mother of the family, before she goes away, she reminds him that it's Miles's birthday while she's away and what we're going to do. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I got this." And he actually throws a pretty kick-ass birthday party for a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
He comes down, he sees the pancakes. And he's like, "Look at that. What 7-year-old wouldn't love that?" It's great.
With a massive slab of butter on top of the candles in it. It's brilliant.
Again, I want to just go back in time. Like
I did have a sequence of shots.
Low-fat margarine.
I had a sequence of shots when he pulled the thing.
We believe you.
I did have a sequence where he pulls the party popper. I had all that for you. Again, it went.
Cool.
So then this clown turns up and he's drunk, and he Candy gets
and it's
rough
got
with
like,
him.
it's got a
Kicks him.
fucking brilliant, like such a simple line in it as well. But when he says to him, "Get in your mouse, get in your mouse, get out of here," it's just great.
Yeah,
it's fucking cool. I love it.
that's cool.
Okay.
And this originally this was longer, and he really kicked the shit out of the clown. Apparently,
I can see that. I can see that happening. I can see Buck having an awareness of knowing he's a bit of a piece of shit himself. He likes to drink. He likes to gamble. You know, and like seeing this in the clown.
Yeah,
he says to him, doesn't he? Like, I want a drunk if I was coming to a kid's birthday party, man. Like, what's wrong with you? Yeah. And he's like, hey, don't worry about it, buddy. It's
no, who you to judge me? Yeah, who you to judge me? You fat waste of space or something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, this is a little bit.
This is great. It's a great scene.
Yeah, this is a bit where he talks about the hatchet. He's gonna take a bit of skin off him and stuff.
Yeah,
off his kneecaps.
Yeah, slice a bit off his shoulder.
His shoulder. A little bit off his shoulder.
Elbow. Bit off your elbow. Yeah. And for some reason, this kid's just terrified of this guy. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And then he goes
and Tia sees through it. Yeah, Tia sees through it. And she's just
actually goes and gets the hatchet out the back of the car, doesn't he? And waves it. Come and have a look. Yeah. Come on over. He's like, no, it's all right. But it's in defiance. Then, sorry, go on.
Go.
No, I was going to say, in defiance, she snogs this guy extra hard right in front of her possessive uncle.
Yeah. Next bit
she's like, at this point, she's like, I know what I'm doing, man. I know this is my life. Don't get interfering in my life. But we'll see what happens.
That's right. So, next bit, genius sequence, I think, all this lot.
When he's walking in the school smoking,
Dude, it's when he walks in and introduces
and you don't really realise this.
Oh, yeah, smoking the cigar, looking for somewhere to put it out. But then he goes to meet the vice principal, doesn't he? And he walks in and she's got like...
Whoa.
Right.
Lummy wants to talk about him going to the toilet, don't you, Lummy?
Okay. Right, Lummy.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Just little things like this. This is what I think John Hughes is a master of. Yeah. He puts little bits. He could have just walked straight to the office, no cigar, no toilet visit. Then just to top it off, he's got this kid. I think this is brilliant.
This kid is brilliant as well.
Yeah, what does he say to him, Lummy? Doesn't he say like, "I'll go in first and take the heat"?
Yeah, I'll go in first. I'll go in first, cover for you. I'll take the heat off a bit, and you think, yeah, nice. And then he goes in, and obviously you got the head teacher.
It's brilliant. And, how he introduces himself to her is like, yeah, I'm Buck Melanoma. I mean, he just can't stop saying walk. It's brilliant.
Buck Melanoma, big cancer.
It's great. It really is.
Brilliant. And then he gives a really good speech to her. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And the kid outside, it cuts back to the kid, and he's like, loving it. He's like, yeah.
But that has got to be a natural reaction from that kid hearing John Candy go off on this woman because it's so naturalistic. He's just sitting. He's like, oh, is he really saying that? Oh my god!
You can't help but grin with that little kid either. It's brilliant.
It's great.
It's brilliant.
Oh man, I'm tempted to finish this show. I'm tempted when the show finishes to go and watch the film again.
Just straight away.
It's great. I loved it.
And now you know all this information that Lummy didn't even know. Like, it makes you more of an expert on John Candy than him.
Well, I don't like to brag,
Well, we'll do Who's Harry Crumb next.
Do we have to
sit through that?
We'll do one of the good ones. I know for a fact that there's better John Candy movies than Who's Harry Crumb.
No, Who's Harry Crumb?
Then he gets the cat.
Right.
He goes, come here, what are you doing?
Cat. Now,
the cat in, and the kids go, we haven't got a cat. And he's like, get out of here.
Nice little guy.
Lummy, can you show that picture again, Lummy? Now, you see between the door frame there, that's a member of crew that opens the door for him, and it's one of the mistakes in the film.
You can see that. Yeah, there is. There's a person behind that door,
Don't be upset, Lummy. They're humans. They're humans, Lummy. Accidents happen. The humans, accidents happen, Lummy. It's fine.
Blowing his mind. Look, he can't even compute it. It's like, you fuckers.
Cost
what you got? What you got?
I've seen it 80 times. You've seen it 80 times.
You're sitting there now going, Lummy's sitting there going, My ass is sweating. Why is my ass sweating?
Comes back to the point though, doesn't it? Little gag, right? Didn't need to be there, but it's in there. This is why these films are genius.
Yeah, despite the fact that you can clearly see a crew member standing there behind it, it's fine.
You saw when it Mandalorian shut up.
I know.
And they've got no excuse. There you go. One of his little inventions to get the clothes clean there.
Yeah, it's great.
And his
life hacks because he's got these little life hacks worked out so he can't get the washing machine to work.
He's really lucky he didn't burn the place.
And then the saucy neighbour comes back.
Now, the other thing here is, did you hear her call him John instead of Buck?
No.
Yeah, she calls him John.
Ah. And the other reason that this is important,
when his girlfriend comes in.
This is even the reason this is important as well is something we've missed, which is to get her own back on Uncle Buck interfering in the teenage girl's life. When Uncle Buck's girlfriend Shanice calls to see how things are going, she says, "Oh, he's out with the neighbour. He's gone out with her. He's been out. I don't know what time he's coming back." And she sets him up.
Yeah.
So his angry girlfriend, who's like the angriest person in the world, incidentally, just generally. She's in a what you would stereotypically class a man's kind of world. She sells tires. She all these sort of burly mechanic men working underneath her and stuff like that. She's a no nonsense kick ass woman,
and she's been let down by him clearly quite a few times about the job thing. So
Yeah.
So
and it's obvious that she wants kids with him and things like that, and he'll
come round.
Yeah. Now, another shot here. I absolutely love this bit where he's down. And the camera follows him up and down. It's so good. It's so good. And he keeps looking as if to say, "Is she really in the room?" Oh, yeah, she is. Yeah, great. Yeah. And then he goes back to after he tries to explain himself. She's having none of it. Then he goes back to the school to pick Tia up, and she's not there.
She's not there. Yeah, not just is she not there.
So he goes back home.
Yeah, she told the kids as well, didn't she? If he asks, tell her I won. What is it? Tell him. You lose.
Tell him you lose, and I'll be back on Sunday. This is Friday afternoon, and she's going to be back on Sunday. And she was supposed to be looking after the kids so he could go to the racetrack.
Yeah,
sorry.
There you go. So he gets in the car with the kids, and he has this moment.
Oh, this is a great moment. It's a great moment. This actually.
Can't do it.
Yeah, gets in the car with the kids. Take him to the rear. He can't do it. He can't bring himself to do it. He's like, "I've got to go save this horrible teenager from this
who hates me
and drinking party."
So he rings Shanice back up and says, "Come back." And
oh my god! So this makes sense now because this didn't make sense to me at all, but now it does because you mentioned the thing about him getting bullied and the lunches and all of that sort of stuff. Because when he opens the letterbox, you see these screaming kids through there, and I was really confused. I was like, "Where the hell are those?"
Okay. I wondered about that as well.
Yeah, you can quite.
He opens the letterbox. She moves to the side to ring the doorbell again. So there's there, and then he opens it again, and there's a picture flashes up of like 3 kids. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it freaked me out. I didn't really get what's going on, but now I do.
That's also the view of a kid, isn't it? That's what he thinks he's going to be out there.
But I just didn't. It makes more sense that is his fear.
Yeah, totally.
Rather than it being a monster or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't even question why I was sitting at the door.
I bet this is why. I bet this is why John Hughes went. We'll have him Home Alone. Home Alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he looks good through a letterbox. Right. So Uncle Buck goes off to track her down, and he goes to this big party, and he gets up to the rooms. Again, I cut all the shots of this out until last.
It's a shame because actually, there's another.
I had the hat coming off. I had it going back on. I had it all for you.
Did you have the bit where the hat's crushed? Did you have the bit where the hat's crushed, and in the next shot the hat isn't crushed? Yeah.
This is the bit where the kids really put out at being interrupted before he gets to do something.
So you think?
So yeah.
Because the girl's clearly lying there going, I don't want this. I'm not ready. And all this shit. And you're thinking, oh, God, this is pretty fucking awful. I hope Uncle Buck kicks the shit out of this kid.
Absolutely.
But then, plot twist alert, he gets in
What was he do? Well, he drills. He drills through the lock.
Yeah, and Bug knows who it is. He knows it's him as soon as that drill starts, and then he opens the door. Uncle Buck's there. Lights come on, shock horror. It's not her. It's a different girl. He's just decided to try and rape another girl instead of the other girl he planned to rape. It's really rapey. I'm sorry.
Well, do we know what happened with him and Tia? Did he? I was a bit confused.
She figured it out. She made her own mind up and figured it out because Uncle Buck sort of pushed her in that direction.
But,
Do you know what I mean?
but did she go to the party and see him with this other girl, or did he try it on with her? She said no.
No, I think she left the party. Yeah, he tried it on with her. She left the party in disgust, decided to walk home through the neighbourhood in the middle of the night, and he just moved on to the next available drunk 15-year-old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Right, so Uncle Buck goes to pick up Tia. She's walking along, crying, gets her in the car, has a bit of a talk with her.
It's really nice. It's a really lovely scene as well. It's really nice how their relationship goes.
Yeah. And she smiles and laughs for the first time in the film, doesn't she? And you're like, oh my God, your face has totally changed.
And she says, are you going to tell my parents? He says, no, I'm not going to do that. And then they have a bit of a moment. Then she says, what did you do with Bug? And he stops the car.
Even though Bug did not try to rape his own niece, he still kidnapped him to teach him a lesson. Yeah.
No, but
I'm guessing this guy didn't do much.
No, he did try. I thought we just established he did try.
Yeah, he did try.
Well,
that's why she went.
We didn't see.
She was crying. Oh, we know. She wouldn't have left and started crying for nothing, man.
I agree, but we didn't see, so we can't assume.
So then they let Bug. They let Bug go by sort of dropping him on his face out the car boot, and then Bug gets all brave and bolshy. So I was like, "Yeah, you come back here, I'll kick your ass." So they chase him down in the car, and look, this kid is ballsy. Because I'd have been shitting my pants. I don't think I'd have been shouting back the amount that he does.
To be honest, I wouldn't have been. I'm not being funny, but if Uncle Buck tried to start on me, I'd just run away. What's he going to do? It'd be
totally.
Well, he does try to run away, and this is what happened. He could get a golf in.
He got a golf in.
Yeah, all right.
He got a good wood in. Yeah.
Golfed his ass.
So, we're nearly at the end, you'll be pleased to know, because I've got many slides left. Right, so they go back and they sort everything out, and Tia tells Shanice what happened and everything. And then she's listening at the door, though. Uncle Buck's listening at the door, and she kicks the door, and he goes flying through the air.
Yeah, that was really weird, but great as well.
Yeah.
And it's it's quite nice, actually, when Tia's saying all of the things that they've kind of agreed that she's going to say to try and big him up in front of Shanice. And it's nice. It's a nice turnaround in their relationship. It's good. I really bought into it.
I mean, for me, I think the first half of the film is much, much stronger than the end of the film, and it kind of lost its way a bit for me. I'm not sure I couldn't nail down what it was, but it was bugging me. I'm like, there's something. I think it's the quick ending.
I disagree.
Of course you do.
Yeah, of course you do. I agree. It's the actual ending itself.
Yeah.
So let's not. Well, we've probably got a slide. So the parents come back. Right, Lummy, have you got a slide for that?
I've got you.
There we go. And Buck's in the kitchen, and he's like, "Hey, be quiet, kids," because they're having a moment in there before he pulls down all the pans and all of that sort of shit.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is them just saying goodbye, and it's really weird because I don't remember the parents saying thank you necessarily. I remember the kid. A lot of talk with Shanice and the kids. It weirdly felt like Buck was excluded from this scene.
But not only that, when the mum comes home and they have that standoff in the corridor, I couldn't work out why, if the girl is not in a mood with her mother anymore, she makes her watch her look like she's in a mood for like 15 fucking minutes before.
Yeah.
Why are you torturing your mum?
If you think about it, that exact same thing happens in Home Alone at the end.
I know it does.
Macaulay Culkin's got a face like thunder until Mother goes, "I'm sorry," and then he smiles.
And it's a theme throughout the film as well, that we establish that these long shots where they're just staring evils at each other, and she does it with Uncle Buck as well. So it's right that they have it at the end, and then it's right.
It's a a bit of drama for your Webb in your film. You know, you can't have it all spelled out to you like your Marvel.
But no, I agree with Webby though. I just thought the very ending there was a little bit rushed. It just seemed a little bit out of place with the rest of the film, and that he seemed like a minor character within that.
Would have been good.
Of course you did. Yeah.
I want to get me in that Paramount vault for that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles cut first. That's my first mission.
Paramount are watching. He's desperate. Come on,
just let me in. Just let me in. I'll do it for no.
We want to see the extra Planes and Trains and Automobiles stuff. We want to see the extra Groundhog Day shit.
You've released it 6 times on DVD and Blu-ray, and there's no extra shit on it. What are you doing?
But be careful what you wish for, because a lot of this stuff is legend now. You've read so much about it. You built it up, and you built it up in your mind, all this lore. And I reckon if they stuck it back in there, there's a reason they took most of it out. You know, some of it.
We watched the deleted scene from this. You've seen the deleted scene that we found that were on the internet.
Well, I agree with you on that.
I have now. That was 10 minutes. It was a good scene. It was 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was. And I tell you what, it didn't feel like it would have been out of place in the film.
No, not at all. Not at all. It worked really well.
And apparently the guy got that sent from somebody who works on the film. It's like, has the guy got anything else? Because where did he get that from? Nothing. I can't stress how much nothing has been seen of any of this stuff. It's amazing.
It's such a confounding thing to happen. Like, why this guy? Why did he just suddenly get sent? And why is that all there is? Has he got any more? Like you say, who is this guy? Who is this mystery Paramount?
Who is it?
Sneaky. Yeah. But I tell you what.
And then I've got you.
I'd love to see some. I'd like to see a blooper reel from this as well.
We'll show you that first. You know, he wrote and directed this, two credits, right? But this is a shot. It's going to melt your stone cold hearts tonight, you two. You ready for this?
It's like he's saying goodbye to me. I don't like it.
No, and I know Barry is going to be sat at home watching this now, and I think Barry's going to be thinking exactly the same thing we are. And yeah, we're with you on that, Barry, because
that's the last shot of the movie. That is the last shot in the movie.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anything about? I'm just wondering if somehow John Candy seems. I think the part of his appeal is it seems like he is like he is on screen in real life, or he would have been. And I'm wondering if there's any truth to that, or whether he was a dick.
Yeah. So the late Jean, the girl that played, Jean, the girl that played Tia, said that I know that obviously we've got this relationship on screen, but behind the scenes, he was just the person that everybody wanted to be around. He was such a lovely guy. He was just awesome.
Yeah, good. Awesome. That's what I
really
would expect. Man. Yeah. Because you can't fake that kind of genuine. That's why we like him, because he seems genuine in everything he does. Like we say, even in slightly subpar films, Lummy might be living in fucking denial about some of them, but that's his prerogative. But he still seems totally likable in the worst of those films. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Cool Runnings?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
beautiful.
Yeah,
well, maybe Blu-ray, because Blu-ray I tend to get a lot of extras on, but now that it's streaming, definitely I think they've missed the trick on Netflix. In fact, they do it on the Disney Channel
with the shift to streaming.
Streaming. Yeah, I agree with you. But they do it on the Disney Channel a little bit. You can get some of the extras on on stuff, but they don't seem to do it on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. And for me, being a movie fan, like the deleted scenes on some of the films I've got are absolutely amazing, and I think they missed the trick.
Sky Movies and Sky Cinema do a lot of specials and things like that, and behind the scenes things.
I mean, you think they'd put it all on there, wouldn't you? Because it's content for the movie, so you think that. But yeah, they don't do it, do they? On a lot of stuff, so it is a bit strange. It's I guess it's to make you buy the Blu-ray though in it and everything. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
look
but
how many times
I'm a bit of a slut when
and they've just found another thing.
I'm a bit of a slut when it comes to DVDs anyway, or Blu-rays. If it's got like a gag reel on, I'm like, I'll get that. It's extra value. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's something that wasn't there. So they've got me anyway. They don't need to really add all the crap in. Some of it is taken out for a reason, you know.
Well, I mean, do you know about right when? So there's a lot of versions of films where they do a TV version of a movie and they put extra stuff in due to the advert length and stuff has turned up from them versions that people have managed to record back in the day. A famous thing is Superman. I know you don't like Superman, Rich, but Superman the movie. There's an extra version that brought out on Blu-ray that was a TV version in America, and it was an extra. I don't know, an extra hours worth of stuff because they put it on over 2 nights, and they found a version of that cut. Else they didn't have it. But that happened with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You know, the airline food that you'd seen.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the
that was
TV
4
version
hours,
of the
wasn't
thing.
it? 4 hours. That
No,
supposed
I'm just on about the extra. I'm on about the extra scene. That's why they brought that out because it had already been in the TV movie version of it. You know,
Got
but
you.
But there's so much stuff. I mean, just watching the trailers, even Uncle Buck. You watch the trailer. There's stuff in there where you go. There's a supermarket scene with the next door neighbor where she says, "Why can't I stay away from you? I find you so attractive and stuff." In the supermarket, a whole different scene. You're like, "Where's that? Where is it?"
It's in the book.
So it's in the book that never came out.
Chapter 7. I remember it well.
Supermarket.
Oh man, so yeah. On reflection, still love Uncle Buck.
Great film.
Thank
you.
It's given me a bit of a taste for John Candy at the minute. I kind of want more candy.
Yeah,
You know
me too.
Like I say, I'm a candy fan.
We should do
more candy fan.
I'll tell you what, it'd be a really good one to do. Who's Harry Crumb would be a great one to do. Because you guys probably won't, be into
I'm just a little bit worried that there's like 4 people in the world that know what the fuck that film is, Lummy.
I've never seen it.
Pretty obscure. Where would you even find a copy of it apart from you?
Well, we don't need to worry about that for a couple of weeks because next week we will be taking a retrospective look at Solo. We're continuing with the Webby, I'm sorry. We do because we are continuing with the Star Wars franchise on alternate weeks. So we'll be looking at Solo next week. And actually, I really loved Solo, so I'm looking forward to watching that again. So Lummy,
Solo.
Is there anything that you want to say, Lummy, to anyone before we come back next week?
Watch a load of John Candy films. They're amazing.
All of them.
But I also can I plug my radio show for Tuesday?
Of course you can.
What's the Score on Box Office Radio Tuesday nights 8 o'clock. Get your requests in. I need them. So you can request on my page, Chris Lum Voices on Facebook, and I'll put some requests on. Have you got any requests this week? I can put on for you Tuesday. I have been playing them for you. You still listen.
You did the Indiana Jones for me.
You know what? I really liked the song. I really like the song in Uncle Buck that's playing in the background where he's making breakfast for the kids. I couldn't quite work. There's something about Tweedledee or something. Tiddly Bob.
Yeah.
That one. I like that. It sounded like a song by a band I've heard of before.
I'll try and get that. I need score music, really. I say this every time. But
score music.
I'll try and
Lord of the Rings, the whole score. Can you do that?
Nice.
Yeah. I'll put you Lord of the Rings.
All 9 films.
Which film? Pick a film, and I'll pick you a track.
I don't mind some of the music from that. Actually, it's
pick one of the films.
I like the Hobbit tune. The
That's great, actually. Yeah.
Beautiful. I like
that one for you, Webb.
And
can
I have the Harry Potter theme tune as well, please?
Yes. All right. I had end credits for Harry Potter on last week, I think. Anyway, go on.
Webby.
I'd like to plug Lummy's other show on Thursday night, the John Candy Hour, the 3-hour show. All about John Candy, the best bits of John Candy, the funniest.
Oh, and I got excited. I got excited then, thinking I was doing it.
You can do it. Do it. John Candy Hour. It's 3 hours long.
Who's going to come on? Who's coming on?
Well, I'll come on and give you some facts if you want, Lummy. Just
because we know you don't know any good facts. Or you could get in touch with the 2 John Candy forums that you joined tonight and see if any of them want to pop on and speak about the love for candy. Laughing on the Outside. That's an awful title for a dead man's book. Jesus.
I know.
Was he really sad? Is he like a Robin Williams? Is he all depressed and fucked up? Because that's awful. I don't want John Candy to be in any pain.
Too upsetting. It's too upsetting.
Oh God.
Well, in which case, ladies, John.
I know.
Oh man.
So can we just say as well before we all forget?
I'll
do my best to get Brian Blessed on next week. I might have to settle for another celebrity, but we'll see what happens there.
Sure.
I ain't got anything to plug this week other than have a lovely week. Try not to.
Okay, so Nathan's going to go and DM Brian Blessed.
Yep.
Lummy, what do you want to say?
I just want to say, make sure if you're going to watch Uncle Buck, do not confuse it with the TV movie or this one.
I could see why you can get them two mixed up, to be honest.
Yeah.
The reboot and the original.
You want classic candy.
Dead ringers there.
Candy.
That is such a great picture. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us again this week. Please go and give us a follow and give us some messages and stuff like that over on our YouTube channel. It's All Geek to Me. We're on Facebook. It's All Geek to Me. And we're over on that there Twitter at It's All Geek Twit. We're building a community here, ladies and gents, and we really value your comments and your participation in our shows. It really gets Lummy up in the morning. But for now, I've been Rich, he's been Lummy, he's been Webby, and we've been It's All Geek to Me. Bye!
Best John Candy Buzz.
Yeah.
I recreated it.